Hello? Mic test. One, two. Oh, does it work? Okay, good afternoon, church. We will begin our first AY program of the year. If you are sitting in the mother's room, we are inviting you to come into the sanctuary to join us for our program. It is 2:02, I think. We are 2 minutes behind. So if you're sitting in the mother's room, I encourage you to come in and join us for our AY program. Okay.
So to start off our AY program, we will be singing some interactive songs.
Okay, everyone, let's stand up. Everyone is full, right? Everyone stand up. Energy!
Yeah! Our first song is Deep and Wide.
Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Deep and wide, deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Yay! Good energy, everyone. Oh, I didn't say to sit down. No, not yet.
We're still standing. Our next song is I Like Bananas.
I like bananas. Who ate bananas for lunch? I think there's none, right? I forgot. I think the mangoes are sweet. I like papayas, but nothing can beat that sweet love of God. I was walking round in circles for miles and hours, trying to find my way back to my heavenly Father. The world tasted sweet, but then it turned sour, and then I let Him in and I received His power. 1, 2, 3. I like bananas. I think the mangoes are sweet. I like papayas, but nothing can beat that sweet love of God.
Our next song is Father Abraham.
Make some space.
Is that too high?
Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So let's just praise
mic test. Okay, let me just pull up the outline. Okay, so can I invite AJ to do our opening prayer before I give an introduction for today's topic?
Let's bow our heads for opening prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you, Lord, that we're able to come here as one family and to worship you. Thank you, Lord, that the speaker for the Pastor Margaret, they're able to take some things out of it and that we may take it into our lives. Please, Lord, bless that we may dedicate our lives, but especially on your day. Help us, Lord, for all the activities, especially this AY as we start again, that we may just bless you and uplift your name again and just keep you in our lives. Thank you again. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.
All right, how many of you feel energized? Yes, perfect. Okay, I think I'll just stand up here. Okay, so welcome to our first AY of the year. Let me pull out my. Okay, so before I begin, I would like to ask you some questions, and I would like you to respond with a show of hands. So, how many of you would say that you give up easily? Okay, couple people, okay. How many of you would say that you are always striving, always working hard? That's very good, okay. And how many of you would say that you're somewhere in the middle? Okay, also some of you. So the majority of the people are actually say that they work very hard, which is good because today's topic will be on goal setting and how we plan to achieve them. So before we discuss our plans, let me give you some insights on how to set your goals and how to achieve them. So goal setting is an excellent way for us to feel productive and for us to feel accomplished about something in our lives. And the easiest part about setting a goal is stating it, right? In your head. How many of you would agree? Yes? The easiest part of setting a goal? Okay. And what's the next hardest part of setting a goal? Having to do it? That's not quite yet. Okay, not quite yet. There's one step in between. Finding time. Okay, I would say that's part of actually doing it. The second hardest part is actually creating a path for you to achieve your goal, right? You have to, it's one thing to set your goal and then it's another thing to actually do it, but you can't achieve your goal if you don't create a path for you to achieve it. So that is the middle step that a lot of people forget actually when they are trying to set goals, especially at the beginning of the year. So for example, as a student, I would say, okay, my goal is to become successful in the future, right? That could be a goal. And it's pretty vague. And I'll come back to the fact that it is vague soon. So to create my path, I would have to think, okay, what can I do to become successful? I'd have to go to school, have to get a degree. Now my next questions are, where would I go to school? What would I get my degree in, right? So after that, once you create your path, the next most crucial and hardest part is actually, like what you guys said, is actually doing the necessary steps to achieve your goal. And at this point, when you try to follow your path, you actually face many setbacks. And it can mean physically, mentally, emotionally, all those things. And it can either motivate you or it can encourage you. Motivate you, or it can motivate you and encourage you to work harder, or it can completely crush you, especially if you allow those setbacks to pile up and let it overcome you. So it really is a mental game when you set yourself some goals. So Marielle, if you could start handing out some paper to everyone in the room. And hopefully all of you have pens. Marielle only brought a couple of pens. And also at this time, I would like to invite our speakers to come sit in the front. I'll sit down in a moment. Yeah, she can sit.
testing.
Okay, so I will assume that all of you have paper now. If not, that's okay. I can repeat it in the end later. But there are 5 important things of setting goals that I've come up with, and I would like you to write it down if you are able. So are you ready? I will start reading out the 5. So the first important thing about setting goals that I've come up with, number 1, be specific. It is so important to be specific. Yes, write it down. It is so important to be specific because, like I said, if my goal is to become successful in the future, how can I do that, right? So then the following questions are, how will you become successful? What will you do, right? Then I asked myself, okay, I need to go to school. So where will I go to school? What degree will I get? So the first point that I want you to write down to achieve your goal is to, number 1, be specific. Number 2, make sure your goals are reasonable. So when you set a goal, you don't want an easy walk, but you also don't want to be, like doing something extraneous, like rock climbing or something, right? Like you don't want something that's too hard for you. You want to set a goal that will keep you running, that will keep you active. So number 2, make sure your goals are reasonable. Number 3, create a timeline that you can follow. So of course, you can set many goals like for the next week, the next month, year, 5 years, 10 years. But for today's purpose, we will be setting a goal that you can achieve within the year. So in June, after 6 months, we will do a check-in about your goals. And then after that 6 months, we will see if you've achieved your goals in December. Sounds good? So the third important part is to create a timeline that you can follow. Number 4, it is very important to let your guard down and let go of your pride, because otherwise you may start to think, okay, I have plenty of time, like I can just yes, it's important to be proactive because if you procrastinate, you're not going to reach your goal, right? Like you'll be like, okay, or maybe I can start working on my goal when I'm not busy. But in reality, we're always busy, right? We always have, for students, school, or we're always working. We always have other non-negotiable activities that we're doing within our lives. So in reality, we're always going to be busy. So it's also important for us to not push our goals aside. And number 4, to shorten it, is let your guard down and let go of your pride. So it is let your guard down and let go of your pride. Okay. And finally, number 5, the most obvious one, I would say, is to pray about it, right? Because we need to ask God to give us the strength and the determination to achieve our goals. So number 5 is to pray about it and ask God to give us the strength and determination. Okay, so those are the 5 important things that I've come up with when it comes to setting goals. And so I want you to keep that for now. Moving on in our program, we have 3 speakers, April, Rev, and Renz, and they will be sharing their personal and spiritual goals for this year and how they plan to achieve it.
All right. So it wasn't until now that I decided to set my goals, and so thank you, Rihanna, for that. My personal goal was at first graduate, and that's very, very broad. As she said, our first step should be specific, and so while you guys wrote that down, I wrote down a little thing for my own goals. Be specific and be reasonable. So by being more specific, how could I make that goal a little harder? I want to hopefully graduate at the top, maybe get valedictorian. How is that reasonable? Make it reasonable or unreasonable. That's a difficulty for me right now, to be able to set a time aside for studying, because I'm involved with a lot of sports back at school. I have done soccer, volleyball. It's basketball season right now. Next month will be football season. The month after that will be badminton season. There's also gymnastics that happens all throughout the year. And I take a part in that as a player, captain, and coach. And so a lot of my time is divided up for these different activities. There's also SA presidency, church responsibilities as pianist, Sabbath school teacher, and also trying to stay healthy and sleep 8 hours. How can you fit all of that into one day? It's hard. By now, I've set like some really bad habits of wanting to study for this test that's coming up, but then not being able to because I said, oh, you know, I'll study for it tomorrow. But tomorrow there's basketball practice that goes until 7, and I have to get home, I have to eat, I have to sleep early. One thing that's been hindering me is this device that we all have. It's something that has been keeping me from sleeping early, and so I've also decided now to make a mini goal of putting that away while I try to prepare myself for academics and exams. Yes, so my spiritual goal is to have a daily devotional. And that might not sound super unreasonable, but I have a bad habit of sleeping in, especially on a school day. And so by making sure I sleep early, set alarms, make a schedule, I'll be able to also reserve some time, quite alone time with me and Jesus, and hopefully our relationship could continue to grow. All right, that's it.
April, what are your personal and spiritual goals for this year, and how do you plan to achieve them?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying that I actually don't have any goals for 2020, just because I have 2019 goals that I wasn't able to fully finish or fully achieve. And I know I should have new ones because it's 2020, new decade, new year kind of thing, right? But I like what Rihanna said, having a goal or a New Year's resolution, something like that, to make it more realistic and achievable. So my goals for 2020 is to achieve the goals from 2019. Because I'm not saying I'm not saying that I didn't achieve these goals, but I didn't complete. I wasn't fully satisfied with where I was at because this year there's so much things that are happening, right? Anyways, so I have 3 goals, 3 things, and my first one was to increase my spice tolerance. So that means well, if you know me, I don't like spicy food, or I'm not really into it, right? And the reason why I thought of that to have my goal is because I was going to Korea, and Korea spicy is yeah, spicy. So if you know me, I cannot handle gum. Some toothpaste is too spicy for me. When we have potluck, I don't want to eat the samosa because it's too spicy. Yeah, too spicy. I cannot handle it. So if I was gonna go to Korea, I need to be able to have some spice tolerance. Oh, that's a different kind of spicy, I'm just starting. I'm a year behind. So, anyways, I improved. So from being able to not chew some gum, I can eat, the Shin Ramyeon, the red spicy noodle, the typical Korean one. I can eat that now, But I can't eat it all, but I can eat some of it. Yeah. Anyway, I want to just be able to eat more spicy food, right? But so I want to, yeah, that's one of the goals. So I did achieve it. So how am I gonna achieve it? Is to eat more spicy food. Maybe I will go to Mexico. And my second one is to be more environmentally friendly. So Vancouver wants to be the greenest city by 2020, right? And it is 2020 now, and you can see some restaurants, they're taking away their styrofoam packaging and putting into I don't know, that stuff that always disintegrates really fast, right? And shopping malls, or not shopping malls, stores are taking away the plastic bags and putting paper bags kind of thing. And the reason why I wanted to have this goal is because for Christmas 2018, I got this glass bubble tea straw. So So the point is to keep it with you so that when you get bubble tea or drinks or something like that, you can use that straw so you don't have to use the plastic ones. So I was really good for a week because I left the straw at home and it wasn't dry if I was like gonna leave the house or something, or I'd forget to clean it and then it'd be not good anymore, right? So I want to be able to achieve this goal to be more environmentally friendly for Vancouver 2020. And how am I going to do that? I didn't really think about that, but I do now keep some cloth bags in my car so that when I go to like Superstore or whatever, I'm already driving to the store, so sorry. I'm going to be using my cloth bags to go in the thing. Oh, and you know what? Yesterday, sorry, I bought, you know when you get vegetables, there's like the clear bag thingies? So I bought an environmental one. So it's like you have to wash it. So pray for me that I will remember to bring those bags and wash it so that I can have not to use plastic and to use the environmentally friendly bags. Anyways, so that was my second one. And my third one, okay. Me being the size that I am, it's probably typical to think that my goal is to weight loss, right? And I'm not saying that it's not, but it's so typical. I don't know how to say it. To say weight loss is a goal, it's kind of like there's so much things underneath that you want to say to it, right? So for weight loss, what can you say for that? Okay, I can sleep more, eat healthier, drink more water, etc., right? So I'm not saying that I haven't tried those things, but like there's so much more that you can do to those to be able to achieve a certain goal, right? So when I was looking up some testimonials or like some motivational videos, the number one thing that people said was having a positive mindset. And I think that's so profound, so important, because mindset is everything. If you believe you can achieve, then you can achieve it, right? So, okay, you can also have that positive mindset and to think that you can do it, right? But there's so much things around you. So just like how I wasn't able to really achieve these things, it's because the people around me weren't as supportive, or like, there's just so much other things around me that would like help me not be able to achieve these goals. Just a lot of negativity around, right? So in order for me to have a positive mindset, I need to like have a positive, okay, I forgot what I just said. In order for me to have a positive mindset, I need to surround myself with people who are more positive, who can really support me and who will trust and understand me step by step, not just be like, boy, put the rice down, I don't know. Anyways. So again, with negativity and positivity kind of thing, right? Okay, so for positivity thing, right, it also goes with like, okay, wait, okay, wait. How do I know? Wait, I need someone to bring it. Okay, wait. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is like body image, right? So a lot of people always look down on you, so it's just like, okay, so why do you want to have this goal? It's because, so if my goal was to look a certain way, is it why? Is it because I want to look good for ABBC? Is it I want to look good for a high school reunion kind of thing, right? There's so much things. So if that is my goal, then how is that a positive mindset, right? And then, so having positive mindset and having self-love, it also goes to, like, how can you love yourself if you can't even love your creator, right? So who made you? God, right? If you don't have a better relationship with him, then how can you accept the fact that he made you? You are who you are today because of who God made you to be, right? So if he made you like this, he made you have like this job or like however, right? And if you can't even accept that, then how are you gonna have a positive mindset? How are you gonna like love yourself? How are you gonna lose weight, you know? So it's kind of like really important. So for spiritual goals, I really want to improve my relationship with God because it's true, right? Like how can you
achieve all the goals without having your ultimate number one supporter, which is God, right? So how am I gonna grow a relationship with God? I really want to improve my prayer life, just because I really believe prayer is so important, and you can see that there's so much like miracles and so much things that happen because of prayer. And yeah, prayer is so important. So I really thanks. I really want to improve my prayer life so that I can love God better, so that I can love myself better, so that I can have a positive mindset, so that I can. Anyways, you already know. Yeah, so how can you, like, that's just the goal, right? So you need to work your way up to, anyways, those are my goals.
Amen. Thank you, April, so much for sharing. Rev, now it is your turn. How will you, or what are your personal and spiritual goals, and how do you plan to achieve them?
Well, my personal goals is my first personal goal is to start saving money, because I just started getting a credit card last year, and I kind of have like a lot of money. No, I don't have a lot of money, but I have money in the bank, and it's so easy to spend it, and then you just don't know where your money's going. But it's okay, because like it felt okay before because I still had money, but nowadays I'm trying to save because I have to pay rent and tuition, and I want to travel. So the way I'm doing that is I split up the money, like I split up the money I earn, my income, and I start eating out less. So now I have to cook at home more, and now I I don't buy coffee anymore, no sugar, I'm just joking. Yeah, yeah. No more coffee, and learning how to cook more and bringing more baon to school. Yeah. And my second personal goal is kind of similar. I just like to gain healthy weight and like lift more heavy stuff in the gym. It's just yeah, it's just like a teenage, not teen, young, a guy thing. So I want to bench 2 plates and squat 2 plates and deadlift 3 plates in the gym. So that's my goal. And also to reach 180 pounds. Yeah. 'Cause-
How do you plan to achieve your goals, Rev?
oh yeah, and to achieve that, I have to eat more food. Only set meals though, like no snacking, stay hydrated, sleep 8 hours a day, and exercise a lot. And then my third personal goal is to like do my best in everything that I do, whether it be school or work, because sometimes I like have to do stuff only. Like I don't try my best in everything, and that like affects my grades or how my peers see me at work. So I think keeping an open mind every day to continually learn and put effort. And my spiritual goals are, I think as Christians, all our spiritual goals is to become more Christ-like, right? So for me, I do that by continually walking with God. And oftentimes I feel like my relationship with God is like a sine wave. Like it goes like up and down. Like, there's like times that, oh, my relationship is really strong, and then you start slacking. And then you look back like 2 weeks and like, oh my goodness, how did I fall this far behind? And then, but I want my relationship to be a walk. So I'm continually moving forward, and growing every day. And also, I want to be more bold in my faith, because sometimes it's really easy to get comfortable, like especially in church, like just sitting in the pews, and you're not really testing yourself. So maybe evangelizing more to your friends that don't know Christ, and putting yourself in situations where you have to share your faith and you have to have strong conviction. So those are my goals for 2020.
Amen. Thank you, Renz, Rev, and April, all for sharing. So at this time, we will have our interactive activity led by Marielle. Hopefully, what these three people said will inspire you to create goals of your own. And get you started thinking. So at this time, I'll pass the microphone to Marielle to lead the interactive activity.
Hello, everybody. Okay, so with the paper that I handed out to you guys, I would like you to use Rihanna's 5 steps of achieving a goal to write down one personal goal, one spiritual goal, and also what you're going to do to achieve it. Yeah. Please take your time. Oh, I will hand you paper.
So just to reiterate what Marielle said, to write one personal goal and how you plan to achieve it, and then one spiritual goal and how you plan to achieve it as well. You are welcome to write more than one goal if you would like, but I really want you guys to focus on being able to actually achieve your goals. You know, so at the beginning of the year, a lot of people like to set a lot of goals for themselves, and then at the end of the year, they find that, oh, I set too many goals for myself. I didn't know which one to focus on, and I didn't achieve any of them. So that's why for now, I'm only saying write one for your personal and spiritual goal. And if you feel that you are determined this year and you want to work harder, go ahead and write 2. And also, again, in 6 months, we will revisit these goals. So make sure you don't lose your paper. Put it up on your fridge so you can see it every day, so you are reminded of it every day. And so now we'll give you time to think and then write on your paper. So how many of you are finished writing your goals on your paper? With a show of hands. No one's done yet? Okay, I'll give you a little bit more time. at this time, it looks like some of you are already beginning to chat, which is perfect. Now that you have written your goals, I want you to turn around, share your goals with the people around you, because it's actually proven, like, to help you achieve your goals. One thing is to write them down, and another thing is to share them with someone. So if you don't want to share, that is fine. You can listen to someone else share. So if you are done writing your goals, turn around and share your goals with someone to start getting, to encourage you.
Okay, hello. We have to wrap up our discussion with those around us. Okay, so now the floor is open to anyone who wants to share their experiences in like regarding their goals, whether they achieved it or they didn't meet their goals, and if they didn't meet their goals, how would they do things differently? So does anyone want to share their experience? What's your question? Oh,
Late.
Previous goals.
yeah. Like from, yeah, last year or years before? Thank you.
Share my personal goal to the group here. My personal goal for this year is to work less. Work less. Okay. So, and I was telling that in the last 10 years I've been working full time, like many of you or so. But I lost my full time job for whatever reason, so whatever. So, and I'm working only a few days a week, basically 3 weeks, three times it's gonna be demise. So the only gains it will be that it depends how much are you making per hour. But if you do between 25 to $30 per hour, you don't need to work 40 hours a week. So you can make it with less hours per week. And that's my personal thing. That is only personal. I didn't discuss spiritual yet. Spiritual, I put that is in general to get closer to Jesus. How can I achieve that one? Spending more time in my devotional. Normally I spend only about 30 minutes every morning. Every morning. That's at the moment that I get up from bed. You know. And by the way, I don't need to put any what is the alarm in the cell phone or so, because the Lord wakes me up 5 minutes before the alarm's out. Every morning. So and the Lord is gonna do that. So but still you can have plan B and put your alarm just in case if you don't get up on time. And the other one is I'm gonna get closer to Jesus, loving my wife better. Because if you don't love yourself, you don't love your wife, how can you get closer to Jesus? That's a spiritual goal. There is more to explain that one. And the other one is I want to get closer to Jesus, so in that way I can be used in better way here at the church, you know. So and probably the most important is to die every day. I need to disappear practically from here. You will still see me here probably for some more years if depend on the Lord, physically speaking, but spiritually speaking, I must die every day. So in that way I will get close to Jesus. I'm there today.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share their experience? Nanay Sally.
Okay, my personal goal in my life, I want to serve the Lord until the end of my life. And I will pray that Rihanna will be successful to be a doctor. And I pick her to be my doctor. And Reb, I pray for Reb that he will be successful to succeed David Suzuki as a scientist. Praise the Lord, I like it.
Thank you. Anybody else that wants to share? Yes. Anyone? Thank you.
Okay. I just wrote down my goals. I have one.
Mama,
So
stand up.
at home,
Stand up.
Okay. Okay. My closet is already overflowing at home. So, you know why? Because my clothes doesn't fit me anymore. So I have to always buy. And today I'm wearing pants. Not because one is because I'm feeling cold this morning, and the second one is because my clothes are too tight. My Sabbath clothes. So my goal is to no. My goal is not to buy new clothes, but to use my old clothes. So at the bottom of it, my goal is to lose weight. So I wrote it down. For my height, my weight should be around 48 to 50 kilos. Right now, I'm 60. So it's a big goal. So I wrote here, I told Joe that by the end of February, no, by March, I will prolong it. I want to lose some weight, and to do that, I have, for many years, I'm registered in the gym. or 6 hours because sometimes I'm sleeping less than that. And more fruits and vegetables. So check me because I'm setting my goal until March to lose a little bit.
Thank you for sharing, Auntie Annabelle. Anyone else that wants to share?
Okay, I want to share my goal.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Auntie Lucille.
Great goal. I want to stay healthy because of you know what happened to me, right? And I want also to report to you. I got to see my oncologist yesterday and my the radiation doctor and supposed to be the other one to the surgeon. And all of them have a good report. They said, thank you for your prayers. He said, with the lump that they took out, it's no more. I mean, the cancer is so small that they, I think they did a biopsy, and then, and also with my lymph nodes, they cannot find the cancer. So thank the Lord. Thank you for your prayers. But of course, that's why my goal is to stay healthy, because not because I'm cancer free in a few months. Positive. You should stay healthy. I have to keep up with the health practices I'm doing now, but I have to do more. I have to drink more. I have to sleep early, and I have to stay away from meat and sugar and coffee. So and also not only me, I want to also encourage everyone to do the same, because prevention is better than a pound of cure. So it's better to stay healthy now than when you are already sick and that's the time you change your lifestyle. Okay. Number 2, I want to be financially independent, which means if other people need money, I can easily give. And I'm not thinking, I don't or I don't need to think anymore. Like if we need money, we don't need to think more or say, my bill is there's so many bills. I don't think about that anymore, because if you are financially independent, you don't think about the money. Because my prayer to God, Lord, I don't want money to be a problem. I want to use my time not thinking about money. I want to use my time doing your work or doing something else that is more productive than thinking that, because sometimes our time is consumed like, where will I get money? Well, you are always thinking about it, and then your time is lost, and then you cannot even do productive thing anymore. So I want to be. So how can I achieve that? I want to work hard and work smart. You have to work smart. Read more spiritual books like Bible and other devotional or whatever. My weakness is reading. I don't like reading. So maybe if I read little, I have to listen only to the video. I think it will help me, right? I will listen. So those are my 3 goals, and my timeline is this year and the years after.
Okay, thank you for everyone that shared, everyone that participated in our discussion section.
This is not only for me, this is for everyone, and you can take it if you want. This year, part of our general goal as a church, if you want to lose weight or you want to stay your weight and you don't want to increase any weight, look for whatever excuse to do exercise. So, and in your workplace, if you still working the 40 hours a week, that's okay. And if your workplace if it's really far from you, the solution is if you use your car, don't use your car anymore. Try to use the transit public system if it's possible, and get off at least 1 kilometer before your house and walk. You don't have to start with 1 kilometer, but start with few blocks. Let's say 2 or 3 blocks. Okay. So and the other thing that they say already, like even Rev said that he wants wants to eat on time and nutrition and based food or so. That is true. Keep it on time. Don't eat snacks. Avoid totally sodas. So you know, and even pastor, don't drink pops anymore. Because it's totally full of sugar, and sugar is a poison. So and anything that it has sugar, try to eliminate it. If you eat fruit, that it has enough sugar as well, in the way of fructose. So, but the main, who want to accept the challenge, I'm telling you that one is because I'm doing it personally, okay? In my Fitbit, I have to for myself. And by the way, this goal started 30 years ago. When I was at the university, and I proposed to myself and to my God that I will try to keep the weight every day, every year. So in that way, I don't need to have to wait for January. And start doing exercise. Your arthritis is gonna go away. Your blood pressure is gonna go down. Your diabetes is gonna tend to disappear, or you're never gonna get diabetic. And the risk of cancer will be totally quiet at the bottom. Okay. So this one, we as a Seventh-day Adventists know. Please accept my challenge. Look for whatever excuse to walk. Start walking. And start with a couple of blocks every single day. And increase every week another block. How about that one? You can do it as well. We can do it. Let's take the challenge and come to me and tell me that you are doing that one. I will continue praying for you as well.
Amen. Thank you all so much for sharing. So at this time, we would like to share some memory verses with you. Starting with Brent.
So we were told to have some memory verses ready to share with you for motivation, for encouragement. And my verse is found in Psalms 73, verses 26. And it says, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." Because at many times we feel like giving up. We feel like, oh, today I've done too much. Like I shared with you all of the activities I'm part of outside of school. And sometimes I feel like giving up and not reaching my goal because I have classmates who chose on purpose not to take anything, no activities, and just focus their time on studying so they could be sure to have a spot in university. And so it's hard to compete when everybody has their time not as divided. Their time to, they have more time to study, and you have more activities to take a part in. So I encourage you guys, whenever you feel like giving up, whenever you feel like what you have on your plate is too much, turn back to God, come back to Him, and make Him your strength.
My verse is found in Psalms 127, verse 1, and it reads, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain." And so I think this is really applicable to our goals, because all our goals are really also spiritual goals, because God should be a part of everything that we do in our life, right? And whether we're trying to save money or trying to lose weight, it's all in vain if God is not a part of it. So that's my verse.
My verse is found in Proverbs 16:9, and it says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." So let's all rise to pray. Close off our AY. Okay. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this Sabbath day that you've gifted us. Thank you so much for the first AY of the year, and Lord, will you please bless us to have many more in the upcoming year. Lord, as we plan for our resolutions and our goals for this year, may you please be a part of it. May you help us to fully trust in you so that we may be able to achieve our goals, and continue to please be with us for the rest of the day. Help us in our plans for the rest of the day, and thank you so much for all that you have done. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
All right, so thank you so much for joining our very first AY. I just want to remind you to keep your papers because we will visit them in 6 months. So we will be doing a check-in for your goals.